Hi guys, for those who don't know me, I'm Gugu. And yeah, the name of my talk is Hesitation is Defeat. And I feel like that's just a really good it's a quote from a game as well. I'm going to be talking about a lot of gaming stuff. But I feel like it's a very good explanation of how my experiences, since I haven't really hesitated, I have, but the times where I've hesitated, right, have been the times where I've fallen short of an experience or just not been able to get the full of opportunity that I've been given. So yeah, just a brief about what I'm going to be talking about. Mini brief about me. Then we're going to talk about STEMET, which is a beautiful organization. Then I'll be talking about women in games and just what the representation in that looks like. Then I will be talking about how to get exposure into gaming or just technology in general, if that's what you decide to do. But yeah. So yeah, first one is about me and what you guys can hopefully learn from my experiences or learn what not to do if that's not what you want. But yeah, so a bit about me is that I'm 18 years old. I was in college. Oh yeah, you guys can see the screen, sorry. So these are just a few things that motivate me. I feel like knowing what motivates you in life and just what keeps you going is a good, it's like a good motto I have, just to always know your motivations, just in case you end up, feeling a bit bummy or something and you just need something to keep you pushing. Also, a random fun fact is that I was born the same day that YouTube was released, which means, in my mind, if YouTube is that successful, obviously I'm going to be more successful because I'm an actual living being. But I'm just saying, when you see me in the news in 10 years' time, remember this quote. So this is my life quote that I'm pretty sure someone has said out there, but until then, somebody famous has said that. But how I try to live is just by studying up for everything, even if it isn't something that I think I'll be interested in or that I can learn from, and trying to complete it to the best of your ability. Because that way, sorry, my laptop just decided to close. That way, you learn more stuff than you think you would. And personally for me, I have learned a lot. But yeah, because I've lived like this, that's another thing actually I needed to mention, that once I knew what I wanted to do and what exposure I wanted to get into, I ended up telling anyone who was willing to listen to me what I wanted to do, because they always knew someone else who knew someone, or they knew someone who was working in the industry I wanted to go into, because I want to go into game design, and that's a very much who you know what you know. And a lot of people have led me with different contacts with other people who've led me to other people. And yeah, now I've talked to so many game artists and other types of people who are in that industry and who are giving me advice on how to get into the industry I want to get into. But yeah. As a result of me signing up for everything, I've been part of a quantum computing program for a year. It was basically a beginner's course of just quantum computing and how you can get into that. I've done several online work experiences. It's gotten to the point where if I named all of them, we would have an entire talk about that. I think I would tell you guys of something a bit more interesting. I've done a business qualification for free, actually. I was being sponsored, me and a bunch of other girls were being sponsored by a group called STEMET, which I will be talking about later in the talk. I won work experience with a top investment bank in December, and I had a whole week of just going in their technology department and learning how to code and make a website, and it ended up making a website that I had to present to a panel of, not judges, but a panel of people where I just told them what the website was about and just discussed my interests with them. I also won £2,500 in funding for a business idea that me and a few girls came up with. And yeah, I've made lots of lovely friends and lots of lovely people on the way, and I feel like that's probably my most favorite part of all of this, which sounds a bit cliche, but it's true. Yeah. So next thing is STEMette, which is the best organization for girls ever. Literally, I would have not done half of the things without STEMette. And I do want to throw a little plug in for Mr. Evans, who's one of the new physics teachers here. He's the only reason why I know STEMette, because my mum used to follow him on Twitter, and then he would post about it so often, and then he would tell me about it as well. So even though Mr. Evans isn't in this classroom right now, thank you, Mr. Evans. I appreciate him. Anyways, STEMette is a 10-year-old organization that tries to push women into STEM, and they encourage girls from 5 all the way to 25, so they support girls for 2 decades of their life, just to encourage them into STEM and get them to just try out new things. And one thing about STEMette is that even if you're not into technology or STEM in general, they'll still welcome you in it. And every event they have is free. Like, every single event they have is free, so you don't have to pay for that. They also pay for your travel and your transport and stuff. And it's just, they also were the people who helped me get the funding. So that's the people I went through. They also helped me get the business qualification as well. And I've been in a few of their coding programs as well. And honestly, every single time I take away something new from it. And I feel like if you're not sure what you want to do, STEMette is a perfect place to go and look at, just for resources and different events that they have. These are a few of the programs that they have going on right now. I don't think most of the girls in this room are actually of age yet to go in these programs, because they're 15 to 25. But if you do go on their website, they do have a lot of events that are more tailored for, I think, different people's ages. So it just depends on what you want to do. But they have so much information on their website, and if you do want to find out more, just ask me and I'll send it to you at the end. But why are people like STEMette, why are organizations like that so important? And that is because this is a chart that I got from PwC's website, and it's just showing that the number of women who are going into STEM is significantly less than the amount of men who are going into STEM. And this can be reflected in our curriculums and just reflected in how STEM is being portrayed in films and shows and stuff. And that also, therefore, will continue to discourage other girls to go into it, because obviously, why would you want to be the only girl in a room? I mean, some people can do it, but it is quite hard. It's quite a hard thing to do. So yeah. Next thing I'll be talking about is women in games. And yeah, I do want to start off with a disclaimer of that I do really want to go into the gaming industry. I absolutely love it. I feel like the sense of giving people escapism, sorry, I can't talk sometimes. It is such a great thing to do, and just to give people a sense of purpose. That is something what I love about the gaming industry, and I would like to be able to push that on and just encourage other people to, experience that and make it more inclusive for everyone. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about streamers for a second. Both female and male streamers are out there in the world, but they have very different experiences whilst being a streamer. So if you're a male streamer, male streamers tend to make up 98% of the top 100 Twitch streamers in general. They're able to have relationships outside of Twitch, which I know sounds bizarre why I'm saying that now, but you'll understand why you're going to the female streamers. They get so much support and opportunities, and even if, in tournaments, because most teams tend to be male-dominated, they get a lot more exposure and support from companies and just different businesses and brands that want to support them because men tend to be the face of gaming, right? And they have a more loyal fan base for when anything goes wrong or if they've lied to someone, people tend to stick up for them more. However, with female streamers, they only make up 2% out of the top 100 streamers, which, yeah. Pokimane actually lost fans when she was exposed for having a boyfriend, which makes no sense because, well, you know, people are allowed to have relationships. But her fan base felt so betrayed and just hurt that the fact that she had a boyfriend that she actually lost thousands of followers from that. Yeah. They also tend to receive inappropriate and hateful messages because people tend to think that if you are a good female streamer, that's just because, you know, you're trying to like pay your way in and you're not actually good on your own merit. And therefore people get angry at that. And they get lost opportunities, mainly because women tend to have less, since they get less funding for gaming, you tend to have a job on the side as being a streamer. And because of that, they have less time to train to play games. And since there's not many tournaments that's just based on female players, it's quite, I wouldn't say unfair, but they don't have as much time to practice and therefore get defeated quite easily. Yeah, but I just wanted to ask you, in the USA, because I couldn't find stats for the whole world, what percentage of gamers identify as female? Yeah, just like, you don't have to like say it out loud, but if you think A, just put your hands up. Okay. If you think B, put your hands up. Not a lot for B. Okay. And if you think C, then put your hands up. Okay. Cool. Wow. Actually, 41.5% of girls as of 2020, sorry. So it's probably been higher in 2022. I just couldn't find any stats about that. Identify as female. However, this is not reflected in games. So only 6% of protagonists in games are female. And this is in the top 150 games in the past, I think, 40 years. So if only 6% of them are female protagonists, mind you, only 69.3% are male, and then the rest you can just choose what gender, but you tend to have more men options, right? It just shows that like there's still an imbalance, and it's, you know, the female gamers and female players aren't being represented in their games. Also, I'm pretty sure it's common knowledge that in a game, female characters do not get any clothing. Oh, I mean, there's no modest way to put it, I'll be honest. In games such as Batman, they literally, in certain shots, they use Batman's cape to cover his body to give him more coverage and modesty, whereas in other games, they tend to use camera shots to emphasize the woman's body and just emphasize her curves, which when looking at it is quite disgusting because at the end of the day, that doesn't really do anything. Plus, when you look at how games have always been designed, they've always been designed in thought of a male's audience. So it's not for, the characters are designed to have a sex appeal, to make men to be more enticed to play that character. Whereas most men characters tend to be more buff and strong and covered because that wouldn't be deemed as sexy. Yeah, next question for you guys is, what percentage of people do you, in the game industry, identify as female as of 2020? Put your hands up if you think A. No one. That's, oh, okay, two. Oh, three. 3 people think A, okay. Put your hands up if you think B. Okay. And C. So those of you who chose B are actually correct. As of 2020, with senior members commonly being male, right, 70% identify as male, 28% identify as female, and 2% identify as non-binary. Which, when looking at these numbers and then looking at how women are represented in games, especially since female people tend to feel more discriminated against and tend to feel less valued, it makes sense why characters are being represented in a way that is deemed less than, and why women are being so objectified within the game industry and within games in general. However, there is some progress. In 2022, there was an increase of 2%, meaning that the amount of women working within the game industry has increased to 30% instead of 28%, with men then decreasing to 27% and non-binary people increasing to 3%. So there's also been an increase of female-only game competitions to allow women to have a safe space to play games with other women competitively, but at the same time being able to enjoy the rush and thrill behind it. Even though these are still starting up and don't have as much sponsorship, the fact that they're still being set up and still being pushed forward is great, because it gives other people, not just streamers, but other people who generally just want to try it out, like that opportunity to feel safe about doing so and not feel like they're going to be judged. And there's also a company called Women in Games that started in 2029. Sorry, just so used to saying 2020. In 2009, where women were only 6% of people who were in the game industry, and that work has obviously paid off since we're now 30%. Well, as of last year, and hopefully we will be increasing. But yeah, with all of that being said, and all of those negative things that I've said, why do I want to get into gaming? I want to get in there because I really just love challenges, I'll be honest. I don't like being the only woman in the room, but however, I do like knowing that what I do can have a huge impact for other people. And the fact that it is challenging and it's not easy, for me, is such a thrill, because if it's easy, I'll get bored of it. I'll be honest, I get bored of things really easily, but I want to be able to challenge myself so I can go and challenge others in the future. Another reason is just to make it more inclusive for other people. Like, I want other people to be able to experience the escapism that comes with gaming, and to feel like the gaming community is more welcoming and just more open for everyone, and not keep it as a niche thing only, and make it just more broad for everyone to be able to go home, play a game wherever they feel like it. Also, just to make a change. I mean, yes, it kind of links with the other one as well, but however, I feel like making a change is something that needs to be done, and you can't make a change you can't expect change if you're not the one doing anything, or if you're not doing anything, you can't be upset that something's happening. Like, I feel like in life, you have to push your way forward to make a change, and I try and live that motto and how I live life in general. So I don't know if you see me, I do a lot of things around school as well, but that's just because I truly believe that if you want change, change starts with you. So yeah, and the last reason is because I love gaming. Like, I don't think there's another reason why. Like, if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it. But yeah, how to get exposure. Ignore the typo. Guys, sign up to courses. Like, there are a lot of free courses out there, right? And to be honest, all it just takes is a quick search on Google, half of the courses I found, I actually got adverts about them on Instagram. So, like, to be honest, I didn't even search for them, they came to me. But yeah, just search them up. And if you really can't find anything, just ask me. I will gladly search and throw something at you. Use the maths. This is girl only, I'm sorry guys, but you can use the Mets. Like, they are such an encouraging organization that also give you free mentoring and just so many opportunities for stuff that you wouldn't be able to do. And also, in case I haven't mentioned, they do give out free food for all of their events. So I'm just saying, who doesn't love free food, right? Grow your network. Like, don't be discouraged to talk about yourself. Like, growing your network means you have to go talk to people and tell them what you want to do. And honestly, I feel like it builds confidence as well. Like, personally, I hate talking about myself, but I do it all the time. Like, it's something you grow into doing. And it's just, personally for me, I think it has helped me get to the stage where I am at now and where I have a clear direction and I can just go for it. But yeah, build your portfolio. That's if you want to go into game design, like that's very niche. But in a more general sense, it's just gain experience and just build up your character. So even if, there's like a work experience or like a talk about technology, but you don't want to do technology, you want to go into science or something, right? Still go to it. Like, you never know what type of skills you would get from that. Like, honestly, the amount of things I have been to where I know I don't want to go to it, but I've still taken a good lesson from that. Like, definitely just feel free to be able to walk into a room and sit down and just know that you are going to get something out of it, even if it isn't, something that you want. But yeah, thank you all for listening. And if you do have any questions, feel free to ask. And here are my contact details, or find me on LinkedIn or whatever. And yeah, thank you. Am I allowed to take questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Prosper.
I noticed on your slide about STEM, it was science, technology, arts, engineering, and maths, and I didn't know about the inclusion of arts in STEM. So could you maybe explain that further, because I think it's a really recent thing.
Yeah, sure. So recently, usually STEM is called STEM, but people started increasing it into STEAM, where the inclusion of arts in science has been recognized to be really important, because at the end of the day, when it comes to doing a scientific course or just doing anything to do with technology or to be able to advance, you have to be creative. And with me, what I'm doing is game design, but I'm going in the art side of it, but I'm still using technology. So it's like they work hand in hand and they kind of marry well together. Don't know if that helps.
Was there a particular game that you remember playing that triggered you to explore gaming even more, or do you think it's just an accumulation of you playing different games over a period of time?
Okay, so how I actually got into gaming, right, is my cousin, he was a huge I just basically wanted to be like my cousin, I'll be honest. So he used to play a lot of games, and like I would force him to sit there and teach me how to play each one. And to be honest, do I remember how to play them? No, I was 4. But like since then, I've kind of developed my own understanding and appreciation for games. And yeah, it kind of just launched off from there and increased. But yeah. Anyone else?
Gugu, what are you going to study at university?
Oh yeah, so I'm going to Falmouth University, well, if I get the grades, of course. But I'm going to study game development in art. So yeah, I'm hoping that goes well. Yeah. Tyler? My favorite game? See, I actually don't have a favorite game, I'll be honest. Like, I would say Minecraft, but that's just because I play it a lot. Like, but yeah, I'll be honest, like, my interest in games have like gone up and down, it fluctuates a lot. So sometimes I tell myself, oh wait, I need to study, I can't play games. And I go through like periods where I don't touch a game for like, sometimes the whole year, like, but then there's other times where I'm just like, forget it, let me play. So yeah, but I would say Minecraft.
You talked about the women-only game competitions, but obviously eventually it'd be nice to just have all-inclusive competitions. So what do you think needs to change within the industry or the gaming community, I guess, for everyone to feel more welcomed?
I think it's just teaching people that girls can game too, and like just tell them that we can game and we can be good at gaming, like, because you know how people always are like, well, not people, but there's this huge misconception that because someone's playing against a girl, they have to be, you know, nice to them. Like, you shouldn't be nice to me just because I'm a girl. Like, you know, give me your all, I'm still gonna beat you, you know? So I think it's just making sure that people understand that and, you know, embrace that. And also treating people like people and not objectifying them. And I think the more exposure you get to girls who game, the better.